What is up, all you beautiful people? It is I, AkemiTCG, back here with the brand new video. This is the final part of the small mini tournament that I was entered in. I'm playing Rikka Fairies, and I'm against a YouTuber named Chainlank, and he's playing Tenyi. Yikes. That's a tricky matchup. Let's go right into it. We are back. We are here in the den. So if you guys don't know who Chainlank is, he's pretty much the main Tenyi player on YouTube. He's a very budget-oriented Tenyi player. He's gonna push Tenyi to the next level. Absolutely swear, if eventually he comes out on top with Tenyi, I would not be surprised. So, a couple things. One, it's very hot up here, so I'm gonna get really sweaty really fast. So I'm gonna try kind of rush this, but still keep all of the mindsets in there. Two, the second thing is I made a lot of misplays in this video. I don't know if it was because, you know, I'm sitting in my attic doing these videos and it's really hot, or I was just like, unprepared against Tenyi, because although I used to play the deck, it's in the hands of a really good player. It's quite a hard matchup for Rikka Fairies. Third, the game 3 for whatever reason was lost. Like, I will show you guys right now just to prove that I'm not BSing you guys. I just click on it, it says replay ended. I have no way to grab that. It says 4 turns, but I actually do not know how to fix that. So if anybody knows how to fix that, let me know, but I'll explain in great detail what happened in game 3. So that means I won at least one game, right? Alright, let's go into game 1. Let's go right into it. So my opening hand here is Mudan, Snowdrop, Rikka Petal, Neos Fusion, Rikka Tranquility. Basically, I summon Rikka Petal, and if it doesn't go off, then I can still pop up with Snowdrop and Mudan. The only exception to this is if they have Ghost Ogre. So I summon Rikka Petal, and obviously it gets Ash. So Chainlank definitely knows that this was definitely the right play to make, 100%. So Snowdrop and Mudan. I grab Sheet here, and the reason why I grab Sheet here, well, 2 reasons. One, I already have Tranquility in hand, so I don't really need a second one because I can only resolve 1 per turn. Secondly, against Tenyi, the critical choke point in that deck is hitting the Shaman, the Link 2, because the Link 2 is not an on-summon effect. What it does is, once per turn you can discard 1 Worm monster, or I think it's 1 card or whatever, to special summon a Worm monster from the graveyard. But it's a once per turn effect. It's not an on-summon effect, so therefore Rikka Sheet can stop it from happening. So I go here into Teardrop, and I set a card. So he activates Tenyi Vishuddha here, which, you know, puts me on edge because he already has an out to discard. Basically what he's going to do is summon Vishuddha using its effect, link off into Monk, and then he's going to use Vishuddha from the graveyard because now he has a vanilla monster on the field. He can target 1 card I control, return it back to the hand. Most likely he's going to target the Teardrop. So obviously it prompts me to chain the Teardrop to get the Monk back into the graveyard, and then he's going to activate Adhara, and he has multiple extenders. He can't use Adhara twice, unfortunately, which is better for me, but he does have Shatana, which means he can extend again. So he's going to summon Adhara, go into Monk, use Vessel. Since he has a normal monster in the field, he can send 1 Worm and then add 1 Tenyi. So they're most likely going to add Adhara or Mafura, but Ashuna, and it's going to extend further in his plays, or it's going to help him extend. So he's going to go into Shaman. The moment he summons this, I chain Rikka Sheet, so he cannot activate Shaman's effect for that particular card unless he makes a second Shaman. So it activates Berserk. He goes into Berserker, and in his graveyard, you have to keep in mind, he has a Shatana. That means if I somehow kill his card, so either by battle or card effect, he can banish his card to resummon the Berserker, and then destroy the card or destroy a face-up monster on my field. Is it a face-up monster? Not even a face-up, just destroys a monster I control. So that's a tricky spot I'm put in. I cannot destroy by battle any of his cards. And let's see if he has any more resources in the graveyard to do so, or to extend further. He does not. And also with Mafura, quick effect, if I can use any card that targets any non-effective monsters he controls, so including Berserker or any token he generates, he can banish this from the hand or graveyard to negate the activation and destroy that card. So that puts me in a really, really big pickle because I can't use Teardrop on any of his vanilla monsters. I have to be very, very cautious here for any of his vanilla monsters that he summons out. So he's just going to attack for 3k, and he goes into Sasara here. End phase, I grab Rikka Petal back because, frankly, if I don't do that, I won't have a play next turn, but that allows him to get a token on his side of the field. So here's the mess up here, okay? So in hindsight, what I should have done is activate Neos Fusion and shimmy his cards back to his deck and then just attack. But, well, hold on, let me just double check one thing. Okay, it doesn't target. So Sasara, for all of you that are unaware, while he controls a face-up non-effect monster, neither player can target effect monsters on the field with any card effects. And so I thought, in my mind, I didn't read this card carefully enough 100%, which is completely my fault. It's been a long time. So I go Snowdrop. So I use Petal. Now since I use Petal, I cannot use Neos Fusion because it locks me into plants. So summon Snowdrop. So Mudon. Mudon, search for Rikka Flurries. And then that's when I realized the mess up. Snowdrop targets my other plant monsters in the field to make it a certain number or a certain level. But since he has Sasara, or rather he has a face-up Tenyi Spirit token on the field, I cannot do that at all. So what I also could have done here is I could have summoned both of these in attack mode to kill both of his tokens to later on, possibly during main phase 2, go off. There was a myriad of plays I could have gone for here. Could have actually grabbed Glamour too, so I can grab Erica to ensure the kill of the second token. There's just so many things I could have done here, but I just messed up, okay? I super admit it, I just messed up. I just kind of got tilted at this point, and I wasn't thinking even out, but I should have really just summoned these in attack mode and grabbed Erica off of Glamour, and or used Neos Fusion. The first play, where I used Neos Fusion, is less safe because he can just use Recur Vishuda back somehow. Does he have Adhara in the graveyard? He does not. So he could not have... Oh no, he has Adhara in hand. So he could have recurred the Vishuda back anyways. So regardless of how I played this, I would have been stuck. So now, because I did not get rid of his Sasara, he's just gaining a lot of card advantage here. So I panic here. He uses Vishuda. I think if he recurs it off of... Or did he recur it? I think he drew into it. Wow, that's a pretty good top deck against this deck. So anyways, he targets my Rikka Tranquility. I chain it to summon 2 more monsters just to play defense here, because that's honestly the best I can do. Which will prompt the trigger of Rikka Flurries. Obviously, he's going to tribute his token with no attack. He's going to go into Shaman, and he has a Mare in graveyard, so he can pop off that way. He recurs his Vishuda, so he can resummon it again next turn, or reuse its effect next turn, if he chooses to. So these two go into Land Phosphorus, which is another vanilla monster he can use to pop off. He goes into Draco Berserker, and my fate is sealed here. Absolutely sealed. There's literally no way I could have survived this, because Draco Berserker can attack twice, and he can abuse Shaman's effect. So when a vanilla monster attacks, he can insta kill 1 card on the field. So I was really just stuck there. Anyways, on to the next one. Game 2 is a lot more interesting. I do have my sideboards in. Alright, he opens up 2 Phantasmes. I actually was unaware that he was playing Phantasme at this point. If I knew that, I wouldn't have summoned a Link monster, but that's completely okay. So Adhara into Monk, into Shatana, into Land Phosphorus. He does not have Shaman. I mean, he does not have the full-on Worm lockdown with Mare, so that's why he just went to Land Phosphorus. I know he has a Shatana in the graveyard, so if I attempt to destroy it, then something would happen here. Let's check his deck to see if he runs... Oh, he does not run Vanity's Fiend, which it puts me on edge too, because most of these Tenyi builds do run Vanity's Fiend. They just tribute summon Vanity's Fiend afterwards and summon the rank 4 to lock your opponent out, so they can't target the Vanity's Fiend with card effects, so no imperm or anything. And they're stuck, they can't special summon, and they can only hit the vanilla monsters, which would really put me in a really bad spot. But I have evenly imagined hands, so I'm feeling pretty good about this already. I draw into Spore. It actually really didn't matter what I drew into this point. I can just Rikka Petal and search. The search luckily goes through. I use Rikka Glamour to search for Primula, so I can extend a little bit further. So I use Snowdrop, summon Evil Thorn and Snowdrop, and which will let me also summon Primula because I tributed a plant monster, or any monster actually for that matter. Summon 2 Evil Thorns. I link off into Jasmine. He goes into Phantasme, letting him draw 2 and fix his hand, and his hand is now miles better than what it was before. Much better. Good option there. And I cannot target his cards, so I can't just straight up go into Teardrop here and do some shenanigans. However, Jasmine is going to let me go off. I go into Lone Fire, which will let me go into Lone Fire. And the reason why I'm doing this is I want to thin out my deck. I don't really want to necessarily draw into Lone Fire, because I can draw into better cards. I go into Mardell here, which gives me Hellbore, and the reason why I grab Hellbore is because Vishuda. Vishuda targets my monsters with the monster effect, and since Vishuda is a monster, and I would most likely have Teardrop on the field, then I could just pop off that way and negate his Vishuda's effect. So that gives me a slight protection. So I go into Teardrop here. I obviously don't use the effect because he's just going to negate it with Phantasme. I attack over his Phantasme. And I do not attack over his Land Phosphorus with Jasmine. Why? Multiple reasons. One, if it dies, then Shatana will activate, okay? And which will just pop my Teardrop. There's no reason for me to attack into that. I'm just going to minus and it's going to hurt. Or he might have a Nahata in hand, which will debuff my monster's attack by 1500, and I don't want to risk that as well. Most likely he will do the former. So still during the battle phase, since this is a quick effect, I will target his Land Phosphorus with Teardrop and then attack over it with Jasmine, if that makes sense. So he draws into Phantasme, which is very unfortunate. He goes into Adhara, goes into Monk, goes into Nahata here. So he goes into battle phase, he declares an attack. Here, what I should have done, okay? I made a giant misplay here. I should have just activated Teardrop to tribute either of these. It actually doesn't matter because regardless, my Teardrop is going to die because of Shatana over here. Well, I just chose not to do it for whatever reason. In hindsight, I could have hit the other one so I can guarantee the 1800 damage. Shatana's going to proc. He's going to resummon Monk and get back Tenyi. So that puts me in a really tight pickle, but I think he did have a Shatana in hand, so I think he can keep going off regardless if that play didn't go through. But he would have had one less card in hand. So he goes Mare combo here. So at this point in time, he realizes that Sasara does extreme harm to my deck. This card is literally the Rikka Fairy Killer. What do I do? The plays you're gonna see are very unorthodox. Just a heads up. Big warning. So, end phase, Rikka Petal comes back, I draw, and I have 1-for-1, which is pretty good top deck. I discard my Hellbore at this point because I don't see any Vishudas there, and big reason why I discard Hellbore, you're gonna see in a second. So Jasmine is gonna get Snowdrop. I'm gonna activate Laura's effect to gain 500 life points, and then Jasmine's going to proc, letting me add Erica from Death to Man. This is very, very critical, okay? So I tribute my Rikka Petal. I did not use Rikka Petal or Snowdrop's first effect this turn, so I am not locked into plants. The out to this Sasara card is Dingirsu. Shout out to a person in the chat, I will find you. But he told me to play Dingirsu. I thought about it for a second. I had, a good amount of room in my extra deck, so I thought, why not Dingirsu, get rid of his card. And that's honestly the optimal play here. There's literally nothing else I could do here. Because if I summoned another Teardrop, he could have just copied the token, and then I would have to be stuck hitting his tokens. And I'm not really in a good position for that, because if I think about it, I summon Teardrop here, okay? He has Nahata, so there's no way I can get rid of both tokens because I only have 2 monsters on the field. Because Nahata would debuff one of my monsters by 1500 attack. So I think Girsu get rid of the main problem child here. Normal summon Spore, This way, I can activate Mudon. Mudon's gonna trigger. I'm gonna get Tranquility. So Dingirsu is gonna run over Shaman, because that's a threat. And then Jasmine is gonna bump heads with this. Regardless if he uses Nahata or not, my Jasmine just won't die, so that's completely okay. So I set 1 Tranquility, I pass. He draws to another Phantasme. I'm like, man, I'm so sorry, dude. He links off into his second Shaman, second or third Shaman, and with Shaman he recurs back Sasara, using Sasara to target my Ding, and then get 26. He's gonna attack and use Ding to protect it from dying. He attacks with Token. He's gonna activate Shaman's effect to destroy it. Dingirsu is gonna use its effect to negate destruction, and then the attack will resolve, destroying both Ding and the token. So he had to attack into it 3 times, or had to attempt to destroy into it 3 times. End phase, because now I only control plants, I get Rikka Petal back. This card is insanely good for advantage, if you all haven't figured that out yet. So here, I'm kind of stuck here because this is going to be the most interesting play I've ever done. He's at 2700 life. I know he plays Phantasme, so I don't want to link. And he has a Sasara in hand, so I can't target stuff. Because the moment I do something that could prompt me to target stuff, he's just going to chain Sasara to summon a token. So I use Snowdrop, and then he's going to immediately shotgun Sasara here. So I'll summon both of these. Mudon is going to grab me my copy of Rikka Flurries. So the reason why I use Rikka Flurries here is because I want to bait him out. If he uses this effect card, if he tributes this effect card, I mean not effect card, this token, then I have game. I'm good to go. So I use Hellbore to try to bait it out, get it in the graveyard, bait it out, which will trigger out Flurries, but he chooses to tribute Shaman. Very, very wise play there. So I use Rikka Tranquility, okay? To get Snowdrop. I mean, to tribute Snowdrop to get Mardell. Mardell's gonna activate, getting me Mudon. I'm gonna tribute Mardell for Mudon, and then summon Fairy Knight and Gunnar. Oh boy, guys. This is the game ender. Once per turn, detach 2 materials from this card. Return all other cards on the field to the hand. Your opponent cannot activate any cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. So this will just yeet this whole field, and I can replay Flurries if I somehow don't win this turn. Battle phase, attack. Drop Erica for an extra 1000 buff. 3200 for game. Insane game too, guys. Absolutely insane. This is an epic game. Thank you Chainlank for giving me this opportunity to play against him in the bracket. He's a very, very good player. This is a very, very hard matchup. I believe he played it extremely well. And game 3, basically what happened, game 3, I'm just explaining how it is. My first 5 cards were Nibiru, Rikka Petal. And against that deck, I waited until he summoned 4 cards. Summoned off Shaman and Mermer, and then I Nibiru'd him before he possibly could have had the chance to play Vanity's Fiend. I don't know if he had it in his main deck or not, but I chained Nibiru, and then afterwards I just comboed off and he surrendered. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed this video. I'm AkemiTCG. Let me know down below if you want more stuff like this. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
The world ends now.